Nintendo Direct predictions. These are always super fun. I always see these sort of videos on things like Good Vibes Gaming and stuff like that. And I've always wanted to do my Nintendo Direct predictions video, but of course I had Boundary Break, which is not a great channel to do something like that, but now I can. So let's get into it. What do I think is going to be announced at the Nintendo Direct for 2024? First of all, this is really tough because we're in a transitional period between the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2, and it is pretty likely that we're not going to get games that are going to be on Nintendo Switch 2 announced at this Direct. That's probably just meant for the Nintendo Switch, because there's already been something that was said about how the Nintendo Switch 2 will not be brought up at the June Direct or summer Nintendo Direct, which means that we are definitely getting something. We just don't know what it's going to be in terms of what it's for the Nintendo Switch. We just know that it's not going to be for Nintendo Switch 2. That being said, I'm still going to say that I think that they're holding off a brand new 3D Mario game for the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. It's been a little while since we've seen something from Mario, and like we had Mario Odyssey all those years ago. And it's been very quiet as far as what we're getting for the next 3D Mario game. And so I do think that the reason why we haven't heard anything on that front is because they're holding it off for the Nintendo Switch 2, which means that probably not going to get anything in regards to 3D Mario this year. So then what about Metroid Prime 4? I already talked about this in a previous video, but I do think that that one has a good chance of being for the Nintendo Switch 2, but this is now suddenly one game that I know that it was at least made initially for the Nintendo Switch. So I think that maybe we might get news on Metroid Prime 4. Again, that's something that could be held off for the Switch 2, so that also might not be at this Direct, but I do think that this is like my first prediction, that maybe, just maybe, we will get Metroid Prime 4 announced finally for the Nintendo Switch. It would be like the console swan song, essentially. But as far as whatever else gets announced, I feel like it's going to be games that are on a slightly smaller scale. I don't think we're going to get anything super exciting, but this generation has been really great for projects that have been like, you know, moderately exciting and worth your time. So on that trend, I think that maybe we're going to get another Fire Emblem game. It has been a small bit of time between the last one, Engage, I think it was called, and now, and Fire Emblem has just been constantly popping up throughout this console generation. I know people like to disagree with that, but they like to ignore things like the official US translation of Fire Emblem 1, even if that was a timed release and it can't be available now. That's something that you need to sit in there and also remember that, like, we got 3 houses, we got Engage, we got Fire Emblem 1. So there's a good chance that we could get like one more Fire Emblem game to kind of cap out the Nintendo Switch life cycle. Another prediction that I have that might be third-party related is I think that Final Fantasy IX, the rumored remake, will finally make its debut here at the Nintendo Direct. I mean, just the fact that like it hasn't been announced anywhere else before, there's a lot of buzz surrounding it. I think that if it does exist, it's going to be here at this Nintendo Direct, and that's where I think we're going to get with third party. I think maybe Konami might announce something with Castlevania, maybe something on a smaller scale. Capcom might announce something, because there hasn't been a lot of buzz around Capcom. They just kind of gave us more news about Monster Hunter, which it's just a low amount of news for Capcom. So we could see something Ace Attorney related, Mega Man related. I know Mega Man is kind of like a big prediction here, but I mean, it's possible. So, you know, I think that there could be something there. Maybe like Street Fighter related, that could happen. But I think that Capcom might have some sort of presence at the Nintendo event. And here's a little bit of a curveball for you. I think maybe we might see some DLC for Pikmin 4. That game actually did a moderate success. I think it's the best-selling one in the franchise now. And, you know, there's definitely room for more content for that game. With Nintendo aiding itself with DLC here and there, I think it's altogether possible that we might see some Pikmin 4 DLC. I just don't think that anything at this Direct is going to be like super large scale, but also I have faith that it will be a pretty decent Direct because Nintendo's been like slaying this entire console generation with like smaller scale projects that are really good. So that's where my mind is at, is not like the next big Zelda, not the next big Mario, not the next Super Smash Brothers. I think that those are all being kind of held off for the next console generation, which is coming very, very soon. But the idea though then is like, okay, what smaller scale projects have we not seen so far for the Nintendo Switch that could just end up in the last year of the console's lifespan? Like what games haven't been fed well, or have been fed pretty consistently to the point where, you know, it does make sense to place yet another Fire Emblem game, or maybe a Star Fox game. I have no faith in Star Fox at this point. Like, Star Fox Zero was, in my opinion, a really decent Star Fox game. I know, a bit of a hot take, but the sales data definitely weren't there, and that's why I'm in the minority here. There's most people don't like Star Fox Zero and are just hyper critical of it. So like getting people to actually try the franchise is kind of tough these days, and Nintendo probably sees that with sales data, so they're probably not eager to get more Star Fox content out there. Though I have heard a rumor that Star Fox Assault might be getting ported. That's just a rumor though, and honestly, as a Star Fox fan, that news doesn't excite me whatsoever. But it's not about what excites me, it's about what might actually be there at the show. So I guess Star Fox Assault could find its way to Nintendo Switch, which would be very unfortunate because I don't think that that's the game that's going to generate the buzz for the franchise. It's a little more split than people like to believe. There are a lot of people that enjoyed Star Fox Assault, but I definitely fall in the camp that I think that the presentation is all over the place and kind of messy. I think that the designs of the characters are probably like the series' worst, in my opinion. I don't like the outfits, like the onesie suits and stuff like that. And I also don't think that, although the music is orchestrated, I don't think it's particularly well arranged, in my opinion. I know, really, really hard opinions on Star Fox Assault. I'm sorry that if you enjoy it, just know that there's a lot of people that feel the same way that you do, that they think it's great. So if it is, there might be a couple of Star Fox fans that are excited about that. But I really do think that listening to the fans, putting out a game that really encapsulates all the feedback that people have been giving over the years about what would make a great Star Fox game should be put into another attempt. And I think you might see success there. Again, to just kind of take over this video. No. I won't do it. No. And we're going to leave this all in too. I was about to just go off about what would make a great Star Fox game, but maybe that's a time for another video. This is a Nintendo predictions video. Yeah, so as far as that all goes, I think that we might see something from Square Enix. I think that it will be Final Fantasy IX. If not, maybe it'll be a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics. You know, I think that that's a possibility, or an even smaller scale project that has nothing to do with Final Fantasy but might be an RPG. That would be really cool too. I think that at the end of the day, it is going to be a Nintendo Direct to be excited about, because again, Nintendo's just been killing it with announcements for the Nintendo Switch all the way up to basically this twilight year of the console. I think it's a really fun time to be a Nintendo fan, and so I think that this will still be a good Nintendo Direct. I just think that keep your expectations a little bit on the lower side. I think that, like, don't assume that we're going to see the next big Mario. I think that it's going to be a lot like what we're getting this year, with small but exciting stuff. So yeah, let's see what it is. I'm excited. At the very least, you know, my very general prediction is small but exciting titles. All right, well, good luck. I will definitely talk about the news when it finally comes out with the Nintendo Direct, so hope you come back to me at some point to see how right or how wrong I was, and what exciting stuff we get to play at the end of 2024. Okay, well, take care.